Stopping by at about 6:30. Jeff Penner will give us a forecast. Quite a rain event overnight, and actually right now. So be careful out there. That weather sucked driving to work, but hopefully it'll be better. Jeff Penner will tell us about it right before 8 o'clock. Then we will talk to former Royals catcher Mike McFarland about the Royals, right now the disappointing Royals after another frustrating loss, this time to the Chicago White Sox, who the Royals are now tied with in the standings. Yeah, this isn't going well. Pete Sweeney from the Kansas City Star at 8:30. We will chat with Tim Grunhard by phone for a segment. And then my good friend, former boxer, retired firefighter, boxing coach, trainer, and somebody that coached and trained me back in the day. Craig Cummings will join us at 9:30 to talk about the Kansas City Golden Gloves going on right now at Memorial Hall in KCK. We can get to the Royals. Obviously, the biggest story yesterday was everything that happened down at City Hall with, well, there you heard it. You heard Mayor Lucas talking about it. It looks like, as I've said the last couple of days on the show, that everything is lined up right now. The framework is there, and it looks like the Royals are headed downtown to Washington Square Park. And the goal, a very aggressive goal, of opening the new stadium for opening day of 2030, which is exciting if they could get that done. But yesterday was an exciting day, a long day, fun day. I know that Soren had Mayor Lucas on the show. Hopefully you had a chance to listen to that. If you didn't, check out the podcast at 810WHB.com or on the app. You heard a couple of different media scrums with Mayor Lucas before the city council meeting yesterday, and then after the city council meeting. I was involved in both of those with Bethany Bowman, also of Sports Radio 810. She was running the camera, and I was holding the mic up and asking a few questions of Mayor Lucas, along with several other members of the media. But, not everybody. There's a lot of people out there that like to talk about it, but they don't be about it, So, I can tell you that's one thing about Sports Radio 810. We're always there. And so hopefully people appreciate that. Even when we're wrong, we don't go back and hide behind the microphone because we've been wrong all along. I mean, we haven't, but, you know how that goes. But, man, it was quite an interesting day. I got down there a little bit before 1:30. The meeting was scheduled for 2, and there were there were other things going on in the city council meeting, by the way. And it was, oh boy. It was, like I said, it was quite the experience yesterday. And so, I don't know. I've heard a lot of reaction. I have not heard from Jake or Deebs What was your guys' reaction to what took place yesterday? I don't know how you consumed it, if you were watching it in real time or listening to everything that was happening.
Yeah, it's following along on the social medias, on the on the coverage that we had here. I mean, you'd kind of hinted and alluded to some things happening, so I wasn't like caught by surprise or shocked. But they played out, and I mean, this is what we all wanted. I mean, we're here. This is going to get done. I think most people who are Royals fans, in knowing that the inevitability of the Royals moving away from Kauffman Stadium, I think most people wanted downtown baseball. I didn't hear very many people clamoring for baseball out here in Johnson County. I think people were at a point where if North Kansas City was an option, they'd be great with that too. But I think the majority of the people that I know, myself included, wanted downtown baseball. And it sounds like that's what we're going to get. Not only that, is that we're going to finally have a plan laid out. How many years into this are we? 2 years now? And I think we've been saying we just want some finality to this. We want to stop guessing. We want to stop, we want to know where the Royals are going to live moving forward after 2030.
Get Deebs in here. Deebs is a big baseball guy. I want to hear what he has to say. But it was, first of all, let me tell you, I got caught up in the middle of some stuff yesterday, the city council meeting. And Mayor Lucas joked with me right after, it was after the city council meeting, before we all gathered around to ask him more questions. He told me, he goes, "Man, you should come down here more often to the city council meeting." I said, "You know what? I liked it. I was highly entertained. I might. It was highly entertaining for me." Because, we're down there. It was news people. It was mostly news people. I think the sports people were me and Bethany, Sam McDowell, Vahe Gregorian, Todd Palmer. I'm trying to think. I don't want to miss anybody. And I think the rest were news people. Like my guy, Charlie Keegan. That's a good guy right there. He's all over it.
Keegs.
I don't know that anyone calls him Keegs.
I do. They call him Keegs.
Well, Charlie, if you're out there, be well aware that for some reason Jake calls you Keegs.
Yeah, Keegs.
So. But, the people that normally would be at city council meetings. And so I'm like, and this is like a packed house, right? And I'm thinking, man, all these people are down here. They're fired up about this downtown baseball. And I was incorrect, Jake. There was a bunch of people down there as the city council, and we're not going to talk about this. I'm telling you why. What this was kind of a, I don't even want to say a funny moment, but all these people were down there, and then I realized, because the city council is going to vote on the whether or not to ban mini liquor bottles in 5 designated neighborhoods.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
I mean, it's a really big deal. It's affecting a lot of people that I know.
Well, I trust me, I was aware of it. I knew it was happening, but I'm down there to cover what's going on with the possible downtown ballpark.
Yeah.
And I kind of walked into one.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And all these people are there, and there was some heated exchanges and emotions. And so then I go, oh, these people are here for something else.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be honest with you. It was very interesting to listen to the debate and then to have the vote. And so then, if you're interested, Kansas City's council voted 7-6 to ban mini liquor bottles in 5 designated neighborhoods. Prospect Corridor, Independence Avenue, Overlay, Midtown, Downtown, and Blue Ridge Corridor. They're designated as retail alcohol impact areas. Restaurants, taverns, and other on-premises establishments are not affected. The ban also does not apply to single-serve alcohol sold in larger multi-unit packages, does not single out individual stores. And businesses now have 60 days to comply. And so...
That's a rough one.
Well, depending on what side you're on.
Right. No, that's a rough
right, when
back and forth.
They had the vote, right, and it was very interesting to listen to the argument or the debate, and then they voted, and then when the vote went 7-6 to ban, a few people applauded, and then, I don't know, 50 or 60 people got up and just marched right out of the meeting, who were clearly there to hopefully see the ban not pass.
Right. It affects a lot of small local businesses.
Right. But my point is that's what I was caught up in the middle of.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'd known about this going on.
I knew it was going on too, but I just didn't put 2 and 2 together because when I'm told to go down there, I didn't. I just I had a lot put on me. So when I get there, I'm thinking, oh, there's a lot of people here for this, and they're like, oh, they're not here for this. Oh, this vote's happening now. Oh, and then 60 people just stormed out in front of me in the middle of this thing. I go, this is, and that's why I said to Mayor Lucas, no, I might be back. This was very interesting to me. So that happened.
Yeah.
And then it was just down to a few people that were there waiting to.
You think it'd be the other way around, right?
Right.
I would have.
Well, I didn't know. I wasn't focused on the mini liquor bottle situation. Like you said, it's very important, but that's not what I was there for.
Right.
And I wasn't thinking about that until I was in the middle of it. I'm like, man, this is like a movie. You know, this is high drama. And so I actually really enjoyed, and they didn't introduce the topic of the stadium until the end of the 2-hour session. And so, buddy, I sat there for 2 hours and listened to everything and watched every vote. And so it was a different kind of Thursday for me. But you know what? I might be back.
It is a city council Thursday.
I've been invited back, and I might be back. And so then we get to the Royals, and we got Deebs in here, who is known around town as a baseball guy. What's your reaction to, it looks like all signs pointing to the new Royal Stadium being downtown at Washington Square Park?
It definitely looks like a step in the right direction, obviously. I mean, I was somebody who was just kind of underlyingly nervous about the team moving for the last few years. Just if things
come on, Deebs.
I had a little glass half empty feeling at times.
Well, Jake's had that feeling many times in his life, and now he's
me and Jake both
turned over a new leaf, and now that glass is always full of hydrogenated water. It's delicious.
The best water in town.
Right. KCHealthClub.com.
Hey, there you go.
You're interested.
There you go.
Yeah, but it was just good to see some positive momentum building towards the stadium getting put downtown.
But you're excited.
Yeah, no, it was an exciting day. Yeah, I was.
Other people in your family excited about this?
Yeah, I think so.
What about opening day 2030?
I had a couple of texts last night. Where are we going to park? I'm going. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we got time.
Yeah, that
2030. That's pretty.
We'll
pretty
figure
ambitious.
that out. You know, we'll get it.
Pretty ambitious. 2030.
I'd take that challenge. I'm good at finding parking spots. I like that.
It is a feeling of satisfaction when you get a good parking spot.
Yeah. It's definitely a sport.
Oh, you know what? That's one of the few things I'm really good at.
Yeah,
I can find a parking spot. Let's go.
It's a nice ego boost when you whip a good parallel job.
I need that. And so it was an ordinance laying out a financing framework for a new Royal Stadium at Washington Square Park. That's what was introduced. Jake, do you have any other clips? My mind's spinning right now. Just play what you got. Smoke them if you got them.
I think this is before.
This is before. Okay, so good. Okay, set the stage. So we're all waiting in the lobby area on the 26th floor outside the council chambers, and we didn't know if Mayor Lucas was going to come down the back stairwell and then go in and avoid the media mass, or come right through. He came right through, and then we quickly gathered around him, and I think this is one of the first questions where I tried to ask on behalf of people, because I had a lot of people texting me, like, now what the hell's going on? Now explain this to me. Now what does this mean? And so I tried to get those answers for just the average fan that doesn't exactly quite understand the nuts and bolts of everything that's going on. And so this was before.
I think this is the longer social media clip that we had.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That should be it. Okay, play it.
No, I think it's an exciting day for Kansas City. We'll have more to share afterwards, but this is us moving forward on the future of baseball, the future of downtown Kansas City, and I think the future of our region. A fair deal for our taxpayers, and frankly, good collaboration with all of our partners from the state of Missouri. Talked to the Jackson County executive today. We continue to talk to the Kansas City Royals.
How much money are we talking about from the city to?
We're looking at $600 million. That would be basically funded through economic activity redirections, I think sales taxes from the stadium itself. For people who ask, how do you come up with that number? The way you do is that we have Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City today. This is based on good conservative estimates as to how we could deliver a great baseball deal.
How quickly could this be finalized? If everything goes the way you want, how quickly could everything be finalized?
We'll be up before City Council and the Parks Board on Tuesday. We certainly hope for a favorable passage there, and then I think we're pretty much off to the races. We've had a lot of good chats with the team. We've had a lot of good chats with the community. But my goal is that we have a stadium open for opening day in 2030. So we're looking at April of 2030. That's a quick time frame. We're hoping for a groundbreaking at least first quarter of 2027. That's kind of the layout that we have, and I think those are things that we can keep if we can keep our approvals going.
Sir, you mentioned the Parks Board. Previously, you indicated that you were kind of interested in following the same model as the Chicago Bears or the Parks District there. Do you see the Park District as being the one that oversees them as the tenant, and then as the landlord, and the Royals as the tenant?
Yeah, our idea is that this is a Parks asset. This will remain part of the park system. Soldier Field is the absolute model that we have. You look at parks amenities both in Kansas City and St. Louis, we have things like that as well. And so this would continue to be something that not just is part of the park system, but where the community benefits accrue to parks and recreation throughout our region. That's the way that you see this being a benefit not just to downtown, but frankly all throughout the city.
The Show Me Sports Investment Act requires that local component, so it sounds like this would fulfill that. But what are the next steps with the state funding, and do you know how much you anticipate there?
We've had great conversations with the governor. I'll leave it to the state to share how much they would expect to put in, but this is not something that's coming out of whole cloth. This is, I think, everybody saying we're excited to work together, we're excited to see baseball, and I think good alignment of the state, the city, our partners at the county, and frankly, we're going to have, I think, some positive steps ahead.
So there will be money from the county?
You know what? I let them talk to that. I think what we've delivered and introduced today is an ordinance that can deliver a good baseball stadium to downtown Kansas City. To the extent that there's additional investment from other sources, you'll certainly have to talk to them. But, the deal that we have laid out looks to public-private participation with the city, the state of Missouri, and the Kansas City Royals.
So that was before. That was just outside the elevator, outside of the council chambers. And the Royals released a statement in reaction to everything that was happening yesterday, and I'll read that before we break. The Kansas City Royals appreciate the work of our city's leadership, the mayor, city manager, and city council as they take important steps toward continued economic development for our city. We are grateful for the engagement in this process as well as the critical work of the state of Missouri, and look forward to more detailed conversations as we consider solutions that are best for our team, our fans, and our community. Bottom line is this: I believe this thing's going to get done, and I believe that we're going to have finality to the situation, I think by the end of the month. And that may be optimistic, but I believe there's a real chance we have the final answer before the calendar turns to May. And that would be, I think, very exciting for, now, as he said, something can always get screwed up, but I think that's where we're headed. So if you want downtown Kansas City baseball, yesterday was a big day for you. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. The waiting has been the hardest part, but it feels like the waiting is almost over. If you're waiting for Stan Weber to come on the show, that wait is also over. Stan Weber is with us. Stan, how do you feel about being joined by Deebs in studio today? Is that something you sign off on?
Yes, an honor to have Deebs here.
Wow.
Love talking to him, but it's normally off the air. Now we get a chance to talk to him on the air, and he's on the TV screen for those who are watching.
He loves it. That's what he asked for, a little bit more camera time, and he wanted to share the.
You got to ask him if it's okay if he's on the air with me. He may want me to leave for a little
Stan, I've
while.
been waiting on this.
He asked for it. He asked for it.
Let's go Royals.
So this is it's good that we're talking about this stadium issue with some clarity in sight, but it's also good because we don't have to talk about the Royals being shut out by the White Sox in embarrassing fashion last night, unless you want to.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah,
I was at the stadium.
Was that a treat to watch the offense in
all
its glory?
Yeah, I know that's the main focus. That's the headline, but the sub-headline is, even though there were some double plays, good pitching, some really nice defensive plays, it was a couple of walks and a couple of defensive breakdowns that allowed the 2 runs. It should still be 0-0 right now.
Well, and it might be if the Royals' offense is still out there. So.
Well, I know. I mean, it wasn't the hitting with men.
I'm throwing
on,
stuff at Stan right now. See that? He throws it right
very
back.
few hits, and even when they got the walks and had runners on bases, as has been the case this year, the Royals are not hitting in the clutch situations with runners in scoring positions. So
terrible.
That happens again, and when you have Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. batting in the 9th inning, and they both strike out to end the game, kind of is the explanation point of the 0 up on the scoreboard. But still, the breakdowns on defense also allowed the White Sox to have 2 runs because they weren't hitting the ball either. And the wind was blowing 100 miles an hour out to left field, but you wouldn't know it because I don't think any outfielder had to go to the warning track to catch a ball. Bobby Witt hit one off the wall for a double, barely fair down the left field line. So, yeah, absolutely. It was bad when Let's Go White Sox was the loudest cheer I heard. I didn't even know there were White Sox fans. It was almost like it was a Cardinals game. All of a sudden, about the 6th or 7th, there was a Let's Go White Sox chant, and it was louder than the Royals fans could come up with because there was no action to get them excited.
How many White Sox fans were there to pull off a chant like that, like 7 or 8 or what?
It was really well done. I was very impressed. It sounded like there had to be at least 30, and they were yelling loud. And maybe there were 70. I don't know. Where I was sitting, I couldn't see them, but I heard the chant, and it was well done. I was surprised. And the Royals fans wanted to yell, but with 0 runs, there wasn't a big chance for them to drown out the White Sox fans.
And you're right. There are other issues with the team, but this offense is just ice cold right now.
Yeah.
And it's the guys that are supposed to carry this team that are struggling.
Yeah, when you're at the stadium, the big scoreboard really reminds you like how the guys are hitting, how many extra base hits they have, things that you might realize when you're watching on television or listening on radio. I get that, but with that big screen up there, it just reminds you as you go through the meat of the lineup and you're going, they're hitting less than 200, and they're not extra base hits. And, I love Salvi so much, I didn't want to look up and see what his actual batting average was this year.
Yeah, don't do that.
I didn't realize. And then Vinny comes up, and you're like, oh, I'd rather not know because you believe in those guys. So other than Michael Garcia, and then you get toward the bottom of the order, and they're doing a little bit better hitting. But, yeah, the Royals are 3 games under 500 right now. And everyone talks about how bad the White Sox are, but if I'm not mistaken, they have the same record as the Royals.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. And so here are some numbers for you. This is terrible, but I'm doing the math, and it's hard to believe that it's accurate. In the last 3 games, the Royals have lost 2-1, 10-2, 2-0. So they scored 3 runs in the last 3 games. They have 11 hits total in the last 3 games. How many times do you think they've struck out as a team in the last 3 games?
Last
total?
3 games?
Last 3 games.
I'm going to go with 25.
Like 36.
Jake? Oh, look at the wheel spinning right now.
34.
39 times. Whoa. 14, and 11. They've struck out 39 times in the last 3 games. Now, here's a good one. What they've had 21 at-bats with runners in scoring position. How many hits in those 21 at-bats with runners in scoring position?
1.
$1, Bob.
Jake?
3.
0 for 21. With runners in scoring position.
I didn't watch 2 of the 3 games,
Yeah,
so
good
I
for
thought
you.
there might have been
Bless
one
you.
in there.
Yeah. I don't think you should regret that at all, Stan. I think it's actually a smart move.
Well, the time changes and when the games are played is a little different when it's freezing in Cleveland.
You know, it's
Wow.
It's terrible right now. And you know, like you mentioned, you look at the box score when you're at the game, you look at the scoreboard. Bobby Witt Jr., I mean, he's after going 2 for 5 last night, he's hitting 286 with a 368 on base. That's all fine, but a 327 slug, no power. Vinny, his slash on hitting 184, 281 on base, 204 slug. Salvi hitting 146 with a 226 on base, 313 slug. Lane Thomas was in the lineup last night, hitting in the 5th spot, 136, 296 on base, 182 slug. Cags hitting 237 with a 289 slug, no power. India hitting 189. Collins hitting 171. The only guys that are hitting above their weight, Michael Garcia's hitting 320 with a 397 on base. He's been terrific. Kyle Isbell's hitting 375 with a 412 on base. He's been terrific. Carter Jensen's only hitting 219, but he's shown some power. He's got a 531 slug.
But he pinch hit and struck. He pinch hit and struck out.
Yeah.
They bring in a reliever at the 9th inning, and closing a game out is very hard. Jeff Montgomery will talk about that. You might have Mike McFarland on again today, and those last 3 outs are hard. Comes in and walks the leadoff batter for the Royals. So you're saying, ha ha ha, maybe you can get something going. And the top of the order is getting ready to come up, and then Michael Garcia strikes out for out number 2. I mean, that's not the time you can talk about his good average, but that's when you've got to come through, make something happen. Get on base, 2 runners on, 1 out, pressure on the closer for the White Sox, little momentum, Royals fans cheering, and Bobby Witt Jr. walking to the plate with 2 on, down by 2, 1 out. How exciting would that be? Nope, strikeout, head home.
Yep, 2-0.
But the stadium looked beautiful. The new wall system is...
You like it?
It's just flawless. I mean, I don't have to like it or not. You just can't tell that major construction was done. It just fits right in. It's a beautiful view plane for a few more years.
Right. Well, we'll get into that. Royals have 3 more games against the Chicago White Sox to try to turn things around before they go on the road for 3 at Detroit and 3 at the Yankees.
There's an old saying in football, which I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about. If they don't score, they can't win.
Well,
does that apply on the other side in baseball? If we don't score, can we possibly win these next 3 games or any of them against the White Sox?
You might be playing forever.
right. Look, the Royals starting...
And they'll put that runner on second in extra innings, but that isn't going to matter because that means it's a runner in scoring position.
And I feel like we had this conversation so many times last year. You can't waste all this good starting pitching. They're just wasting it. Again, another good performance. Seth Lugo, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and just nothing.
Yeah.
It's a huge gut punch when you waste starting pitching like this.
There's only been a couple of bad starts, but for the most part, the rotation has been excellent. And if you would have looked and ahead of time and just saw what the Royals starters were going to do the first couple of weeks of the season, you'd have thought, well, the record would be reversed. It'd be 8-5 or 9-4 or something like that.
Yeah,
instead of 5-8.
If you did the analytics or the statistics and said, take the pitching the Royals had, don't change 1 ounce of that into 13 games, and just have an average major league offense, whatever that is, not above average, not playoff teams, just average, I think you turn the record right around. 8-5, 9-4 maybe. Isn't that true? I mean, just with average offense?
Anything. I mean, anything.
How about just
What's
timely offense?
Yeah,
Right.
0 for
Professional
21
at-bats.
could easily
Yeah.
be 6 or 7 of 21,
Like
Steven.
he said, a
That's-
couple of timely hits with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
And they could have won 2 of the last 3 games.
How about professional at bats?
Wow.
Not getting down 0-2 before you even get in the box.
This guy's firing shots in here in studio. Deep.
You should hear me watching the game in my house.
We could record that.
Well,
and
it
then we
has
could play
to,
so
it has to
everyone
be
can
on
hear it.
podcast only, though.
Yeah.
Jake, can we set that up? Can we send him home with a mic and just have him?
I'll just have them go live stream.
Well, I bet you'd like that. Let's take a break. We have Stan Weber in studio. The Royals lose again this time to the Chicago White Sox, 2-0. They've got 3 more cracks at it at home against the White Sox before things get tough on the road. We'll take a break back after this on WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. We'll get to the stadium issue in the next segment, but I know that Jake was very excited. Stan, I'm sure you're excited. The Masters. How much did you get a chance to watch?
A lot.
Yesterday, and please give me your thoughts on the first round.
Rory McIlroy got a career Grand Slam after waiting almost 10 years to get that final one. The Masters won last year, and he came out yesterday. Started by not hitting the fairway very often, but he did a great job of scrambling after that, and he leads the Masters after round one. So,
Tied for the lead.
well, he still leads, but tied for the lead is accurate. But the big name is on top, and then Scottie Scheffler, who has struggled on day one in a lot of tournaments this year, and then turned it on and raced back and gets nearer to the top, but hasn't normally got over the hump this year. Just had a new baby a couple weeks ago. So Scheffler, I think, came in 3 back of the lead and in 5th place. Is that right? I'm not looking at any stats in front of me.
He's
Jake.
2 back, and he's tied for 6th.
Tied for 6th, 2 back. So you got the big names already showing out. You know they will on Friday and Saturday. The weather's perfect, and really enjoy the Masters. Yes, it is dominating the sports world in my mind this weekend. I'll monitor the Royals and how they do against the White Sox, but other than that, it pretty much is a Masters weekend.
I regret to inform Jake that I forgot to do what I said I was going to do before I got off the air and place a wager on Gary Woodland to finish in the top 20. And because
He's playing good.
I know. But then I went ahead and on DraftKings I got a bonus boost and was able to, I think midway through the round, get him.
Yeah, you still live bet him.
I got him in top 10.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not gonna do top 10. So
He's in the top 10 now,
Right.
isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he's
tied
tied
for
for 10th.
I mean, I got some good odds.
It was fun to watch him
I'm
play.
rooting for him. So
Fun to watch
He's 1
Scheffler
under.
play. Rose, last year lost in the playoff. The old guy played pretty well yesterday.
He's 2 under.
who are you rooting for to win?
Scheffler. I'm a Scheffler guy completely. And I don't like Rory.
There we go.
I do not like Rory and his
Don't play into
his,
this.
his
There we
righteousness about, live golf. Those dudes, they play for money.
That got a little
Okay.
old, yeah. Got old quick.
Yeah,
I like this now.
He's a mouthpiece for the PGA.
Yeah, I did not want him to win last year. Anybody but him, but he did it now. And so I'm rooting against him. I'm rooting for Scheffler and against McIlroy, and anybody else I'm just going to enjoy.
I'm rooting for Gary Woodland.
I love the
It's a great story.
competition. I generally like almost all the golfers. It's just which 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to be there in the back 9, because the Masters doesn't start till you go to the back 9
Right.
on Sunday. That's
Sounds
an
like
old
you don't
saying.
like Rory. I mean, you said you
No, I don't like Rory, but he got his
That's
he
fine.
got his big win last year.
Jake doesn't like him either.
If he didn't have that win, it would really be fun to root against him.
Yeah.
So tell Stan who you're rooting for. I want to see what Stan thinks of your guys. Who's your
I'm
guy?
rooting for Gary Woodland. I like
What's that?
Bryson DeChambeau,
What do you think
who
of
had
that?
a horrible day yesterday.
But that's his guy.
He had a-
Tell him.
Yeah,
Triple bogey.
Bryson's my second favorite,
Okay. Oh, okay. We guys are.
but he stunk yesterday.
Yeah, he was bad.
How can
Well,
he be that
He
bad?
had that triple bogey, 3 shots in the sand, and it kind of ruined your
But
day.
all day long, he missed putts he should have made.
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming in decent form. So yeah, he that's bad.
He's got
that's
the same
a bad
water
performance.
machine that I have. He's a Kangen water guy.
Really?
There
Yeah.
it is.
A match made in heaven.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
used to like Koepka until I saw that behind the scenes show, that golf show they have about him.
on Netflix.
It's a few years old.
I love Koepka.
I liked him as a fighter. He only played in the big moments and stuff, but when I saw him around his house, the cockiness and
He's pretty
was
funny.
that his wife or girlfriend or whatever?
Wife,
It did
yeah.
not. No, that he did not. He played a John Daly role. Does that make sense to people?
Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of people don't like golf, so they probably don't even know what we're talking about right now. But John Daly's a little wild and crazy, and
A little.
well, in that range, you know.
A lot.
He's out
But
there.
Koepka is more leaning that way, and he wouldn't know it because I like competition and like clutch hitting. Okay, that's what we started with on the Royals. Okay, you might only hit 270, but if you make the hits at the right time and make winning plays, you're my guy, right? It's not just talking about your averages and your numbers, winning plays, and I love competition. And Koepka was a guy who said, "I don't care about the regular tournaments, but the majors." I'm going to turn it on, play well. I liked him.
Yeah.
But then I saw that show and I go, not so much. So he's just in the middle of the pack with everyone else. And Woodland's obviously a great story with the surgery he's had to battle through and the issues that come with that, working with lesions around your brain. Topeka man, KU grad, local guy. I mean, and the fact that he came back and won a tournament the other day, was that 2 weeks ago
2
or
weeks
last
ago,
week?
yeah.
2
It was
weeks.
2 weeks.
That was amazing. So, yeah, there are plenty of reasons for me. Like, I like to watch Justin Rose and see how he does. I'm really not rooting against anybody but Rory.
So I have to ask you guys this, because I've heard some people that were just super pissed off. Did you guys get mad with Jason Kelsey as part of the Masters Par 3 broadcast and Kevin Hart running around out there? I mean,
No, they were caddying.
Were they disrespectful?
I don't.
I mean, Kelsey.
I saw both of them yesterday being interviewed in a setting, and they were completely respectful to
Yeah, I don't.
the Masters, the game of golf. So unless
Kelsey got down on his stomach to read a putt, and people got a little. I mean, but
It was more than a little. There were people were outraged.
I don't feel like he was being disrespectful.
Like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys, because I don't get out.
well, he does a tush push as a center. Why couldn't he get down like Tiger does, real low in a push-up position, barely off the ground? Is that acceptable to get down and look and show your athleticism, or is it that he touched his belly to the ground? Because he had a white caddy uni on. He played it. I thought
they were going to have to restrain Sterling yesterday. He was furious with
everything I saw, which is only a little bit. He seemed respectful to it.
All right. I'll take you guys' word for it. I didn't watch it, but
And it's just a par 3. I mean, it's a fun day. I mean, that people are out there having fun. It's a
Kids, wives.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Watching the par 3 is a lot of fun. It's, they kind of cut loose before the tournament starts, and I mean, yeah, the no fun police that go home.
Because Hart says he plays golf every day and's taking lessons every day, so he's taking the game completely seriously. That's what I heard him say. It's not just I'm out there joking and I'm a comedian. He has bought into the game of golf and says he plays every day and takes lessons every day.
Poor guy.
And Kelsey hit a shot because a caddy gets to hit a shot, and he looked like he knows how to play golf, hit it right over the water, onto the green. And so I didn't see anything disrespectful, but I didn't see the action on the par 3, so I may not be the right person to ask.
well, just wanted to.
But anybody who
See
steps
your
on the tradition and the hardline issues that the Masters brings up, I'm not a fan of. The no fun police, if that's a statement that the Masters needs to change, and I do not agree. And I'm not saying that's what Jake said, but if you play within their rules, I love the rules. I know so many people have been to the Masters, and my son Stanton married Natalie. She went to the University of South Carolina. Her parents live in Columbia, South Carolina. They go to the Masters every year, like no big deal. And so I have heard so many stories, and people that have been there, and everyone just raves
Jake's been
about
in the Masters.
Yeah.
No cell phones, and everyone's respectful. What a great place in America to be. Like,
Right. It's
everyone's
awesome.
on their best behavior. They don't overcharge you for things,
Jake loved it.
for food and all. I've not heard anybody who said anything other than, I thought it was going to be a big deal, and it was better than I thought. I've heard a number of people telling me that this week.
Yep.
And like I said, I know family members.
Mark
distance.
Calcavecchia, 12-time tour winner. He found out you can't use cell phones the hard way. On Tuesday, he was asked to leave. He was on his cell phone, and he got asked to leave the Masters. So,
I mean, today's society, like,
won majors.
I think about 2014 playoffs with the Royals, 2015 being out at the stadium, and just the connectivity of everybody that was sitting around my section. I can't speak of the whole 30-some thousand, but as far as I could see around me, everyone was high-fiving, hugging. No one cared what part of the city or state you were from. It was no Kansas, Missouri, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal. Not all the things that divide us. It was just everybody pulling together. It was such a great feeling. And I think at the Masters, you're looking.
Well,
they can see you on TV,
almost
Steven.
everybody.
People can see your face on TV.
I'm
You
not
just
sure
made.
Jake was. I'm not sure we pulled him together during the playoffs. I don't know.
Well, maybe a side story, but I'm just saying, everyone on their best behavior. Where do you find that? And I hear at the Masters.
Right. No, we just had an issue where we lost him.
Yeah, it was just I just
in the playoffs. But to your point,
14 and 15?
No, 15 I was on great behavior.
But everyone came together.
Yes.
And found Jake because there was a hashtag Find Jake during the ALCS.
Thanks to Mark Borichter.
But people did come together.
Yeah.
Well, you got
from all walks of life to find you
at the stadium.
At the stadium.
I've dealt with something like that.
Oh, you
before.
haven't heard this?
Oh, yeah.
I've been on search
You haven't
parties
heard
at the
that
stadium.
story?
No.
I was trending.
Yeah,
on
but you can
Twitter.
get back. You've been able to get down in the
I know
places
that
underneath the
stadium.
stadium.
You
Yeah,
remember
you know the hallways and everything.
The great
Deeds.
moment with Mistakis, when the
Into the dugout suite.
caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, even though he attended the game, was standing next to me when it happened. Didn't realize that it happened until the next day here when he saw the highlight and he just went nuts.
What a play.
I said, you were there, right? Can you believe it? Well, I mean, what a great moment. I said, yeah, you
Fell into the dugout
you
suites and made the
experienced it.
catch.
Yeah.
How did the catch like that fly under the radar?
You were like
I thought
3
you were
feet
gonna-
away from me when it happened.
I thought you were going to tell me he was in the dugout suite and didn't remember.
he
That would have been
wouldn't
great.
have known that either. But
I wouldn't have.
But I'll never forget. He was just captivated. He saw that on TV. Wow, I can't believe what did you guys see that? I go, yeah, we did.
And we talked
You
about
did
it.
too. You just well, there were some people that were mad at you that night. That's all I can tell you. I wasn't one of them though.
No.
My guy. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB.